Take 3. We're down at the East Neuk Salt Company today. Yeah, we've had a few issues about recording this and sound and all the rest of it, but that's what live does for you. So we're down at the East Neuk Salt Company today. I was in the area. I thought I'd pop in and see Darren, see how he's getting on and see how things are happening. And it just so happens I bumped into somebody right across from me. Lewis, how are you? From Auto Spa. You good? Aye, looks like, God, that's a beautiful car. Superb. Okay, great stuff. Let's go in and see Darren. So, we've got a big, huge thing out here. We'll find out what that's all about. And then we're going in to see him at the East Neuk Salt Company. Find out all about the process and everything that's involved. Listen, guys, if you please share this, because we're going to go through the whole process about how it all happens and how salt is made from start to finish. So, Darren, how are you?
Very good, Jim.
So how's things going?
Excellent.
It looks like you've got everything ready to go.
Started with 4 brick walls and now we've got this.
So are we going to talk about the process and all the rest of it?
Absolutely.
And how it all happens? So take me from the very beginning, how it happens.
Very beginning, we collect the seawater.
Let's go and have a look at the seawater. Yeah. Let's have a look at the seawater and see what happens. So, is this where it's all collected then, in these containers?
These IBC tanks basically hold 1,000 litres of water, cubic tonne. So we take them along to Ely. We've got a pump which does about 250 litres of water a minute. So we fill the tanks, try and get about 6 tonnes of water, because that's what we need to make a brine. Bring them back.
And that's from Ely, you get that?
From Ely, yeah, and there's 2 reasons for Ely, because people always ask me why Ely. The water's grade A SEPA, as is all the water, but for ease of access at the granary flats and power, you know, to bring the water into the tanks, it's much easier. And
you're taking 6 of them?
6 of them. We're allowed to take 10,000 cubic litres of water per day.
Which is 10 of them?
Yeah, 10 of them, and above that we need to get
good at this, eh?
You're very good at this. And above that we need to get a licence, but we don't need that scale of water, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we bring them back to the salt factory.
What's that big thing sitting there?
This is the air cooler. It basically cools, brings water through these pipes into the building and cools the heat exchanger, which I'll tell you more about.
We're going to find out about that when we get in.
In a bit. So the water...
And what's these pipes running at the side?
That's the hot, the cold water, and then it comes back as hot, goes through, cools down, back out as cold.
Yeah, boy, that's pretty sophisticated, eh?
Aye. So basically...
And then when you've got the water in containers, where does it go next?
We bring it in the door. Big original sliding door.
Wow.
From the Bassrock Oil days. And then the IBCs come in here through these food grade hoses. The seawater gets connected to the filtering system, which is a 10 micron particle, a 1 micron particle, and then a carbon filter.
So when you say 10 and 1, that's just different sizes?
Different gradients to remove any potential nasties from the seawater.
Which is things like?
Microplastics, elemental stuff like heavy metals, which thankfully the filters are not showing any of. The waters are grade A.
Oh, that's a good one actually, because you'll know when you do these filters if there is anything in the
absolutely,
water. That's actually a good telltale sign.
And it's really, really good sedimental filters we use. They're really quite expensive.
So when we want to know when we're going swimming, we could just check with you. Is the water okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. So then it filters through these filters and it goes into these holding tanks, as I call them. And that's basically filtered seawater ready to make the brine. And then from here, we use vacuum evaporation. That's our method of producing salt.
Which is that big thing?
No, the vacuum pump is behind there, which I'll show you shortly. So basically the water from the holding tanks under vacuum pressure shoots up these PVC pipes and then fills the brine tank.
So this is the brine tank?
This is where the seawater goes. So seawater is 3% salinity, 3% salt in it. We need to bring that up to a different level, concentrating it basically. So 6,000 litres of water will pass through here, leaving us with 500 litres of brine.
That's effectively 6 of these containers.
6 of those containers will then leave us with a brine.
That
half of those containers.
That doesn't look like, that looks like only 2 of these could fit in there, and yet that's 6,000.
Well, no, because when we're concentrating the water, we're distilling, so we're getting rid of water, and we keep topping it up to give us a bigger concentration.
Yeah, okay, concentration. Right, I'll get that right.
This boiler here powers the whole system, shipped that in from Italy, at great expense, I should add.
And then you've got an exhaust out the top there.
Yeah, the chimney flue.
Now you were telling me something about this boiler, which is quite unique, about the heat recycle or exchange.
Our engineer, John, is such a clever guy. I mean, thank you, John. We could not have done this without you. The heat that we produce from here runs the whole system, heats the salt pan, which I'll show you shortly, comes right back, heats up, and it's just constant. We don't even use the mains water. Yeah. Everything is recycled in the system. So,
wow. Okay.
He's a clever guy for being Irish.
So it comes into here?
Comes into the brine tank, and behind the Armaflex insulation there is a stainless steel tank, and the hot water...
Curiosity, why insulation?
To keep the heat in. The more heat we can keep in, the better.
I maybe thought I was stating obvious, but I just thought I would check.
Yeah, no, it makes it more efficient. So water at 96 degrees fires round the jacket. Yep. And the brine's inside getting agitated, so it's pushing it up onto the sides of the tank. There's a sweet spot in there, so when it gets to that, it distills quickly. Yeah. And basically the vapour that comes off goes up through, basically it's a still, goes up through the funnel there. The heat exchanger, which you were talking about, those fans outside, that passes cold water through the heat exchanger. The vapour turns back to liquid.
And that's the heat exchanger?
That's the heat exchanger up here. And then that sight glass lets us know that the system's working. Yes. So if there's liquid dripping down there at each side, at the angular sides, we know we're in business and we're distilling. And currently in here, we've got 1,900 litres of distilled water.
All right, because I can see the line there, and then you just check
this on here. And basically, no product we create will be wasted. So this byproduct of distilled water is going to be turned into gin, Panhouse number 9 gin.
And funny enough, I actually thought to myself when you said still, I thought hillbillies, moonshine.
Well, absolutely. So that's going to be shipped off, turned into gin, brought back to us. And that gin will be sold to raise money for our pan project, because we're rebuilding one of the pan houses. Oh, wow. So we can show the old and the new together. Superb. The vacuum, that was our original vacuum pump. Yeah. It was taking about an hour and a half to get the vacuum, far too slow. So we upgraded to this. Jeez. That's a vacuum pump, yeah. That gets us to vacuum in about 3 minutes.
But that's not for vacuuming your floors.
No.
Hey, I had to say that. Hey,
pretty good job that.
Try the fishies here all week.
Right. Well, that's a very, very big vacuum pump. And what we've also tried to do, because I'm all about sustainability and the environment, all our kit has previously been used by industry, other than the boiler, and all the pipe work, and that's brand new. Yeah. But I just thought, what's the point of getting somebody to make, you know, this is £20,000 of stainless steel sitting here. Yeah. When it's already in the industry. So I tried my best. These came from the Netherlands. Yeah. The boiler from Italy. The vacuum pump from Englandshire. All the pipe work, we used local companies like Pipemore and Glenrothes. Yeah. The pan was built by Kevin Innes, who's the local metal worker. All the buildings, the joinery, the electrics, the plumbing, they were all done by local people as well.
Because this is amazing place, because the reality was, I remember when there was just 4 walls. There was no roof on it at all. No. So it's been turned into something special.
Oh, absolutely. I think if you've got a vision, you know, and when I told people I was going to be starting a salt company, they thought I was bonkers. Yeah. And a few people thought I would never do it.
As most people do.
So it's great.
That's what usually happens. Yeah. But, you know, it takes somebody to stand out from the crowd and actually do it. So let's talk about the processes after here. Yep. So we've got the pipe work that comes through.
What happens is...
Where does it go after this? After this big tank?
That goes nowhere. That's your distilled water. Yep. In here is your brine.
So what happens with the brine then?
We blast 1 bar of pressure into there, put on the vacuum pump, and then it then takes it up these network of pipes and fills the holding tank which sits directly above the pan room.
Okay.
Sir John Anstruther sitting next there. He started up the salt in 1771. I wanted his vision to look at my vision.
Yeah.
You know, the old looking at the new. Richard Weems, the local artist, fantastic guy. And then we did history preserved down the bottom. That's our tagline.
Yeah, and then what's with the wee apple in the corner? What's that for?
John, our engineer, what a guy. He lived off an apple a day.
Is that like a clover?
It's a wee shamrock.
Yeah, a wee shamrock on the end, yeah.
So it's a little nod to John.
Superb.
I mean, he's so...
And then that's the holding tank up the top then. So what happens once it's been in the holding tank?
Basically, 1,000 litres of brine goes into the holding tank.
Yep.
And then we're still working in here. We flush the pan with the brine.
Yeah.
So this arm comes out. We're cleaning the pan at the moment. And then we turn that wee lever. When there's brine upstairs, it floods the pan.
How far do you fill that then?
Well, on the first brine we filled to about there. And then the brine I just did we had up to here. This pan is bespoke. There's not another one like it. The energy we create from across there heats the pan as well. Hot water. It gets really, really hot in
Is that what that pipe's for?
No, that pipe's for emptying it. These pipes here are what bring the heat in to the back. And then the heat.
Ah, right, okay.
Heats,
and then that heats this underneath?
Yeah, and it's stainless steel, so it's non-corrosive.
Yeah. And
and then it heats up and, well, you can lose weight in here. It's like a sauna.
So a sauna, I can imagine.
And then basically, as evaporation occurs, the salt starts forming on the top.
Crystallization.
Crystallization, yeah. And then it sinks to the bottom, and you're scooping big mounds of salt out.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
So what's this sitting here then?
That is calcium that we made. That's a byproduct.
So is there several byproducts in the salt then?
Well, magnesium, you get gypsum and magnesium concentrate, both very useful for soil.
Yeah.
So we're speaking to farmers about giving that to them. They can put it on their soil and it enriches it. We don't want nothing going back into the sea.
Yeah, good. That's fantastic. Right, so we've got the salt and then we've got, what is this for then?
We bring
here?
We bring the salt. We need to remove moisture from salt for, you know, flake, usability and also flavour.
Yeah.
So you know, each salt company will differ, but we know exactly how much moisture we're taking out ours. And then it goes in here, dried, packed, and then shipped off.
Because you weren't, I was asking you about percentages and that, and you went, ooh, that's the secret.
Yeah, yeah. No.
That's like Coca-Cola, the recipe, I take it. Yeah.
There's things you've got to keep in the company, like Achill Island sea salt in Ireland. This would never have happened without those guys. They told us how to create a salt company, but they didn't tell us everything.
Yeah,
and you've
got to find out that for yourself.
You've got to find out
your
own road.
And it's like your unique mix. It's like a Michelin star chef.
Aye.
You know, it's like you know the basic fundamentals, but the wow factor is you.
Yeah. You've got to keep certain things to yourself.
Perfect. And then so, what's happening next? What happens after you get salt? You know, once you get salt and you've dried it out, where does it go after that?
It gets packed and just shipped straight out the door.
So, can we see some packaging?
You can see the design. The packaging arrives on the 28th.
And that's why we're waiting.
That's why, because we've had so many people come in here, people from Italy and things like that, asking for salt. And to be fair, I've given them salt. Yeah. But we're not releasing it to the public until the packaging arrives.
Because it's
so we're basically, everything's got to form the brand. So this is iconic in our brand, and they'll be transparent so you can see the salt.
Oh, these wee bits here.
Yeah, it kind of represents the windmill down at the pans. And then, you know, it's that arrives on the 28th, and on the 28th we just start filling. Brilliant. And then it's out to market. And then
can we taste some salt?
You sure can.
Oh, what's through here, by the way?
Oh, this is going to be a wee meeting room.
Oh, right, okay.
Richard.
And is that salt there?
That's salt there, yeah. Yeah, that's the That's the first.
Wow.
But
what, you refer to it as white gold.
Well, it's the white gold. Well, to me, it's the white gold of St Mullins. You know, it's been so long since we made salt here.
Amazing, yeah.
But we're also developing flavoured salts.
Okay.
Which I'd like you to try.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this. Flavoured salt.
So we've got.
So what have we got here? Yeah.
We've got cold smoked East Neuk salt.
So let's have a wee taste of that. I'm addicted to this, by the way.
Oh, I'm a bit the same. It's got such flavour.
Oh, could I get some more of that?
You can take some away.
We'll just tell everybody that.
I know, I was going to
You'll
say.
all be around.
There's me giving it
just
away.
told everybody
again.
publicly, take some away.
Come on in.
Oh, jeez, that's brilliant. Oh, it just melts in my mouth.
And this one is a kind of blow your mind factor, blow your tongue. It's chilli.
So
really,
I have to get the chilli then?
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. And I know you like hot food, Jim. So.
Oh, I'm enjoying this, by the way. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, packs a punch.
Oh, no.
Sorry, it's
Wait a minute, I can't breathe.
It's my last bottle of water.
Oh. Oh, yeah, boy.
Oh, it packs a punch, that.
No, I've actually... I'll tell you the reason why. We did a dry run of this.
Yes.
And I had a wee shot at it, and I was like, oh, that's worse.
It's a worse. Well, moving on to the mint salt. That might
let's get
cool
the mint
you down.
salt.
Now, we're going to launch 3 flavours to
So
begin
what's the
with.
mint salt for then?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could rub that. See if you put that through an oil, like an olive oil, and rub that on lamb. That would really season that beautifully. Or you could just, you could add. My wife's the head chef at the Dory in Pittenweem, the Dory Bistro and Gallery, and they've been using these salts.
So what's this one then?
This is tomato. A tomato-based salt. And then that's obviously the one that you've had already.
Oh, that's nice as well.
Ah, it's got a real beautiful texture.
All these mixtures of salts will add real value to what you're eating.
Yeah. I mean, Craig Miller at 16 West End down the harbour there, I gave him some salt and I gave him the smoked salt, and he said it's phenomenal. And you could be really biased when it's your own product. So what we're trying to do is get as many people as possible to taste it. And that's chefs. Like, we've got a chef in Canada, and a chef in Singapore. He's a Michelin star guy, and we're getting great reviews from them.
And that's where it brings me back to saying this isn't a mainstream supermarket thing.
Absolutely.
Really, it's a more high quality, high end niche.
Yeah.
So it really is. I mean, because you're not producing masses here. You're producing to high quality Michelin star restaurants, and what else? Are you producing for?
I mean, this salt. I want this salt accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
The price point obviously does lead it towards Michelin starred restaurants.
Yeah.
Some really big brands in the country are using it. Like I say, Italy, Singapore, Canada. But for me, it's about good salt. That stuff that you buy in the supermarket, it's got caking agents in it. They're packing salt out with stuff, and I want 100% sea salt. I want it on my dinner plate. Yeah. And we've got such rich history with it in St Mullins. I want it to be accessible to everybody, and this as well. It's, for me, this space is, yes, we've built a salt company, but I want people in the community to be using this. Yeah. So we're doing food nights, pizza night on Friday, 29th October. Adult night sold out. I'm going to.
I didn't see my invitation for that.
You've got an invite, don't you, Willie? And then I was thinking the door, because I produce such heat in the winter, when it's chilly outside and it's hot in here. Yeah. And because when that's off, because I'll show you that on in a minute. Yep. And the crystallizing's going on, you build such heat. So I'm thinking movie nights, get 1950s movies on for the old dears in the village. Just utilise the space. Yeah. Have it as a place where people can come together.
Let's fire it up then. See what we're doing.
Okay.
Do I get the privilege of pressing
the
buttons?
You can press the buttons, Jim. Right.
I'm looking forward to this.
Now, well, just
is this an elevator thing where we just go and just put them all in at once, or does it have to be a sequence?
I wouldn't recommend that. I would just start. So the pump is for the water to go through the system. Yep. The fans are to cool it. So
and that's the outside one.
That's the ones outside.
Cooler it was so So stick the pump on.
Yeah, and then just fire away with the fans, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's them on outside. The boiler and the pump now to start.
Yeah, and that starts this up,
That
the
starts,
actual gas-powered boiler.
That starts it. And then I just need to go and check a lever on the vacuum pump.
Yeah. So you have to, there's a process as well, you have to check certain levers, don't you?
Yeah. So here, if you turn on the water fully.
Superb. I'm not doing anything wrong though, eh?
No. And then turn on this mains water.
Yep.
And then...
And you're going to turn that one?
Open, that's for cavitation,
okay.
So we don't explode the pipes.
Yep.
And then if you turn on the vacuum pump.
Vacuum pump's up there. That's that big thing.
No,
blue.
the vacuum pumps.
Oh, the vacuum pump. Oh, that's there.
Yeah, that's it there.
Superb.
So
I'm going to have this process sussed.
If you turn on the vacuum pump.
Yep. Yeah, boy, that's noisy. That's that. Oh, so you have to do that, yeah?
That's to stop cavitation.
You know, that's almost like listening to your car engine. You know, just to get it perfect.
And then the vacuum is at atmospheric pressure, and then it comes down to -1, which means we're in vacuum and the system's working.
Yeah.
And then basically we heat everything up, and the distillation occurs, and the seawater gets concentrated.
Wow.
It's big chunky bits of kit.
And the brine tank, what's that one?
The
That's
brine,
in there, eh?
yeah, this is the brine tank. And that blue motor is an agitator to spin the seawater round. So if you pop that on, yeah.
And that's why that goes round. Right there.
That's it.
It rotates all the way around. And that's basically a big mixer.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, big mixer inside.
That's all it is, yeah.
And that's the whole process. And that's pretty noisy. Do you have to wear ear defenders?
Well, I tend to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, if people come in to visit...
Well, switch this off?
Yeah, just turn them off. Oh, that's the on button.
Come on, obviously. I must know. That's why I'm an estate agent. That's why I'm no longer in manufacturing.
And then what you've got to do with a vacuum is vent it. Oh. Right, it mustn't have been under vacuum.
We didn't do it that much. I didn't think we did it that much. We're fine. Yeah, that's it back up now.
Yeah.
See that? It's going right back up. Perfect. Okay. That's a fantastic process. And then that is where that wee bit there, you would obviously see through that. What is that called?
That's the sight glass. So that lets you see the vapours distilling. Basically, the seawater is heating up, going to steam, going round the heat exchanger and turning back to cold water.
Excellent.
Distilled water.
Okay.
So it's...
great stuff. So that's an amazing process.
It's been a total learning curve for me, because I'm not an engineer.
Yeah.
I just came up with the idea of a salt company and I've had to learn everything.
Yeah.
But John...
As most of the people do. I mean, it's... You know, most entrepreneurs jump out the window and learn to fly on the way down.
Aye, totally.
Do you relate to that?
Absolutely. I mean, we probably spent about 200 grand doing this. Mm-hmm. It's not been cheap. Yeah. It's a massive risk, but I'm willing to take it for the village.
But it'll pay off. I mean, you know, you've got a huge legacy to follow from John Anstruther, is that?
Sir John Anstruther.
So. And I think it's absolutely a brilliant thing to do. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to sampling the product lots of times. Yeah, good. Because it is a really good product. Yeah. I love it. So we talked about table salt, the difference between table salt and this salt. What is the difference?
Table salt will kill you, Jim.
Table salt will kill you. That's the things that heart attacks and strokes and all the rest of it.
Caking agents, additives. Sometimes they can separate, you know, they can use additives to put into salt to separate gypsum and all that kind of stuff. Really, really bad for you. I wanted to bring back, you know, he was producing 100% Scottish sea salt. Yeah. You know, in the most horrendous of manners though. 8 tons of coal to make 1 ton of salt. Yeah. And, you know, the harsh reality is women and kids were worked on these environments. I want to bring back 100% Scottish sea salt that's sustainable, environmentally friendly, and creates a real positive movement for the village.
From its taste, because I love it.
Yeah, it's good salt.
Absolutely
it's really,
fantastic.
really good salt.
What's your final thoughts on this, final words? What do you love most about the fact it's in St Monans?
Well, I'm from here, and like I've came back after 18 years away, and I've created something positive, you know, and I've stepped outside my comfort zone. You know, it's people questioned whether this would happen. Yeah. And now it's like the door's open, come in and see it, because we've done it.
But that's what happens with everything.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing of that is people questioned if they can get a man on the moon.
Yeah.
But they did it.
Aye. That's a bit more advanced than a salt company.
When the dream's big enough, though, the facts don't count. Really, that's what it comes down to.
There was no way I was backing down from this.
Yeah.
The village needs it. We've got such a rich history. It's going to create employment.
And it really did cement all the development here. I mean,
absolutely.
This all happened as a result of what you did.
Well, I mean, Alan...
all these small businesses popped up, and yourself as well, as a result of everybody being inspired.
I mean, Alan's done an amazing job on the yard. I mean, Lewis, you know, he's a brand new business. I'm a brand new business. You know, you've got the Muffin Man, you've got Jennifer, East Neuk Podiatry, you've got the laundry service, you've got an engineering, a joinery, a shop. You know, it's...
Who were all these people before? Just home?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Alan's truly created, well, business space for us. Yeah. And I mean, I need height. I was struggling to get a building, and then he came to me and he said, you know, here we go. And
well, you talked to him in the early days and you were saying, well, Burnmall Road and Leiden.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because that's the only place that could actually accommodate you. And then all of a sudden this came up.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Do you think this was meant to be? I have a sneaking suspicion this was meant to be.
I've got a wee bit of a
feeling. This is a combination of the sun and the moon and the planets all aligning at once to make this happen. So you were here at this point in time to make it happen.
And then my house up the country, the estate I was living on, they sold the house, and I got back into the village. Aye. You know, yards away from the yard. Eh? Aye. This is fate. So it's great, you know, and I'm hoping that, you know, it's early days for us, you know, we'll start selling the product on the 28th, but I want my kids to be taking this and growing it. You know, I want to turn it into a beast. I want a cook school, an education hub. I've got plans. We never sit still, but I want it to be, like you say, the legacy in the family for the girls.
This is the foundation.
Aye, yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah, I did all the hard work and they get all the money.
Fantastic, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Darren. I really appreciate that. And that's it, guys. You know, it's an amazing company, an amazing process. You've seen the whole thing throughout. Please share this with other people on your pages. Please share it with community pages as well. Please share it all around the world. The reality is this is a worldwide product that people can actually buy online as well. So from me at Fife Properties, bye-bye for now.